Your vote is never wasted. When you vote, you're not just choosing a leader, you're making a statement about the future that you want for yourself and your children. Putting the minor parties above the major parties, it does not waste your vote. In fact, it takes revenue away from the major parties, which hurts them more than anything. So vote wisely. It's not just a right, it's a responsibility our ancestors fought and died for, so that we may steer our nation towards a better future peacefully. This presentation will explain the preference voting system.
Voting in Australian federal elections is compulsory, and we use a preferential or preference system. It gives your vote extended power to influence the outcome. To get elected to the House of Representatives, you need an absolute majority, that is, 50% plus 1. The Australian Electoral Commission's website shows a correctly filled-in ballot. You must number the boxes from 1 to the total number of candidates in your electorate. Your favourite needs your number 1 in their box. This is known as the primary vote, and it is by far the most important choice. Then you choose a second preference and continue to rank other candidates until you reach the last number. This last choice is almost as important as your primary vote. The person who you consider to be the worst possible choice must go last if you want to hinder their chances. This ranked voting extends your vote's influence. For example, in 2010, in the Denison electorate, the number 1 primary vote count showed no one reached an absolute majority. The ALP came closest, but they were still 14.21% short. Second position went to another major party, the Liberals, closely followed by Andrew Wilkie, the Independent, then the Greens with the Socialist Alliance last. The candidate with the lowest tally gets eliminated in subsequent counts until somebody gets a majority. Remember, your favourite must get sufficient number 1 votes to avoid this elimination. Tell your friends. In the second count, the Socialist Alliance votes were distributed to their second preference votes, which went 4 ways, as usually happens. So after that distribution, the ALP was still 13.85% short, and the other 3 remained in the same positions. On the third count, the Greens' exclusion provided the unexpected knockout blow to the ALP's chances. They received less than half the Greens' preferences and were still 6.32% short. Andrew Wilkie picked up more than half, which catapulted him into second position. The fourth count result was predictable, with almost 80% of votes from the Liberals group preferring Wilkie to the ALP, which resulted in his winning by 1.21% or just 787 votes. Remember, he started with a primary vote of just 21.26%, enough to survive elimination, but then he picked up almost 30% from preferences, where the ALP was placed last. I repeat, your last preference is equally as important as your primary vote. Use your vote's power with preferences. In the House of Representatives, the primary vote is crucial to survive the counting rounds, and you must always vote number 1 for your best candidate. Vote number 2 for the next best option, then rank all other candidates and put the worst candidate last. Your vote is your right to choose who governs us. Please do it responsibly. It matters. Authorised by J. Burbidge for Voting Matters, Sky Street, Queensland.
Well, that's how you maximize the power of your vote. Thank you to Jill Burbidge and Voting Matters for putting together this educational video. So remember this election, put the Libertarians number 1 above the major parties. It hits them where it hurts, their funding. Voting Libertarians number 1 will empower us to keep pushing forward, fighting for common sense and restoring the freedom to our nation. So let's together bring back the values that matter to Australia. Vote Libertarian number 1.
Written and authorised Lloyd Russell, Libertarian Party, Queensland.